Hello friends, thank you for always choosing Online Math Expo. Let's do it again today. Today's class is a special class that will be dedicated to all the JAMB students. So if you have any JAMB students around you, please make sure that this video gets to him or her. It's very important. Okay, but before then, we are going to continue. We take the remaining part of the theorems and then we go into JAMB questions proper. Okay, let's take the remaining theorem, Theorem 6. This theorem says, we are going to make these theorems very simple so that you understand what it talks about. Okay, this is our circle. And if this is our circle, that is what we call tangent. A tangent is any straight line that touches any point of the circumference. This is a tangent. So whenever you have a tangent, this is the radius, the center of the circle. So the tangent makes angle 90 with the radius. So this is the radius because this is the center and this is the tangent. So the tangent makes angle 90 degrees with the radius. So let's take one example on that. If this is our circle, this is the tangent, and this is the center, it makes angle 90. Maybe you may be given something like this, and you may be asked to find x if this angle here is 38 degrees. So if you have such question, what do? Remember, this tangent makes angle 90 with the radius. So in that case, you are going to have the remaining part will be added to give you 90, because the total angles in a triangle is 1/8. So if this place is 90, you are going to have 38 plus x is equal to 90, because the two remaining will sum to 90 also. Okay, we are going to have x will give us 90 minus 38, and when you subtract the two, we are going to have 62 degrees. So we are going to have 52 degrees as the value of x. So that is okay. Now the next theorem is Theorem 7. This is a circle, and there is a triangle that is inscribed inside this circle. So the theorem is telling us that if this is also a tangent, such that this tangent is having a point of contact with the chord. Remember, what we meant by the chord is any line that runs from any part of the circumference to the other, but will not pass through the center. If the chord passes through the center, that is what we call the diameter. So this is the chord. So the chord is in contact with this tangent. I take that again. The chord is in contact with this tangent. So the angle this chord makes with the tangent, this angle here, if we name it A, is the same thing with the angle it makes in the alternate segment. Look at what we are saying. This angle A here, remember we said alternate is any angle in a Z shape. So if you watch the Z shape there, remember an angle has been made here to be A. So this angle is in alternate with is the same with the angle in the alternate segment, the angle you form here. So in this theorem, this angle A is the same, watch, angle in the alternate segment. So this angle A is equal to the angle that is formed here. I hope you are following. Then if I have angle B here, this is another chord having in contact with the tangent. So this angle that is made here, if I call it angle B, is the same with the angle it's made at the alternate segment. So this is B also. That is what the theorem is telling us. We are going to use an example to explain that. Let's take one example on that. If I have a circle, this is our circle, and I have a triangle inscribed in it. Sorry. If this angle here is 85 degrees, I may be asked to find this angle here, which is angle A. So what do you think should be angle A? Watch it again. This angle is the tangent, this is the chord, having in contact with the tangent. So the angle the chord and the tangent makes is the same with the angle it's made in the alternate segment. So angle A is equal to 85 degrees. I hope that is clear. Okay, having understood this, let's now go into solving JAMB questions proper. Please stay back. Okay, so let's take these few questions on JAMB. This is one of them, but please remember we are online on Facebook at Online Maths Expo. We are on YouTube at Online Maths Expo. Please support what we do by following us on Facebook and also subscribing to our channel on YouTube. Okay, let's go back. But remember, what I want to tell the JAMB students on this circle theorem is that circle theorem is not that difficult. It's just very simple. The only thing it needs is for you to know some of the tips we have already discussed in circle theorem. We talked about the angles, we talked about the triangles, and we discussed some of these theorems. So when you know some of these things, it will enable you so that when you see any question on circle, your mind will flash back to which of these aspects can I use to solve that problem. So if you know those, please, if this is your first time of coming across us, kindly go back and look for where we treated some of these aspects. It will enable you to follow through in what you are doing. Okay, so let's continue. In this question, we are told that PTS is a tangent to this circle, and the circle is TQR, and it's tangent at point T. And we are asked to calculate RTS. So we are calculating RTS. And you know, this is objective question. We are not trying to show all workings. What we want to do is to get the answer. And you know also that JAMB does not need much time. So we have to be very fast in what you are doing today. Okay, so we are asked to calculate this angle, RTS. This is RTS. That means we are looking for this angle. So what do we do? Remember what we treated last, that the angle in the chord makes with the tangent. Look at it. This angle it met here is equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So here is equal to this. So it means that whatever thing we are going to have here should be equal to what we have here. But from the question, we don't know what is here. But you can easily get that value. We can easily get the value of angle here. Considering the triangle inside, if you look at that triangle, here is 60, here is 50. So we are looking for this point. And you know that the total angles in a triangle is 180. So if we want to get this value, we add 60 plus 50. That will give us 110. We subtract it from 180. Here we give us 70 degrees. So if this place is 70 degrees, what does it mean? What we have here should be equal to what is here. So for this, our answer for RTS is also 70 degrees. So we're going to have 70 as our answer. Let me take that again. Remember, what you have here is the same with what you should have at this point, Q. Because of the theorem that says the angle, the tangent. So if you know that, that means we need to get the angle here. And luckily enough, this is a triangle. And because it's a triangle, the total angles in a triangle is 180. So since we know that here is 60 and here is 50, if you add the two of them together, it gives us 110. And when you subtract 110 from the total angles in a triangle, it gave us 70 degrees. So if this point is 70, automatically angle RTS will also give us 70. So the correct option is option B. Okay, let's look at example 2. We are given this diagram and we are asked to find x. So what do? We are given options. What do we do? Which of these theorems are we going to apply here? Just look at it. Just take a few seconds, pause the video, and look at the questions critically. Okay, now what we are going to do here, look at this. You will discover that this is a quadrilateral. And this shape is inscribed inside the circle. I remember what you said earlier, that there's something we call cyclic quadrilateral. And cyclic quadrilateral is when you have a four-sided shape inscribed inside the circle, such that the vertices will be touching the circumference of the circle. So when you have that, there's a theorem we use. The theorem is that the opposite angles sum to give us 180. So angle we have here and the angle we have here, when we add the two together, it should give us 180. And the total angle we are going to have here and the total angle we are going to have at this point should also give us 180. So what do we do to get this value of x? Okay, supposing there is an angle here, it will be easier for us to find the value of x. but there is no angle here. So what do we do? What we do is just look at it again. It's very simple. There is something they gave us here that should enable us to get this angle. And when we get this angle, we can now find the value of x. And what is that thing? If you look at that shape is forming a triangle already. And this place is 81. Here is 53. So we need to find this point. So if we find this point, we can now add what we have here and here together and sum it to what? 180. I hope you are still there with me. Okay, so let's get this value of this angle here. By adding these two together, 81 plus 53 will give us, this is 4, 8 plus 5 is 13. Then this is 134. If we subtract 134 plus from 180, we are going to have, this is 7 minus 3 will give us 4. We are going to have 46 degrees. That means this angle here is 46 degrees. So if here is 46, the angle you have here plus the one you have at x should give us 180. In that case, option D is already off. So what do we do here? We now have 180 minus 46. Since if we add 46 and 1x, it will give us 180. So we subtract. 10 minus 6 will give us 4. 7 minus 3 will give us 3. So we have 134 degrees. So that when you add 46 and 134, it gives us 180. In that case, our value of x is option A. Okay, let's look at example 2. For example 2, we are told that O is the center and SOQ is a diameter. Look at SOQ, where O is the center and this is the diameter. And when you have had that word diameter, something should be ringing in your brain about the theorem we have treated. That's how you answer it. Okay, so if this is a diameter, something is already ringing in my brain, and I know the same thing is already occurring in your own brain there. So we are told that angle PRS is 38 degrees. Where is angle PRS? This is P, this is R, this is S. So the angle at P, at R is 38 degrees. So we are asked to find angle PSQ. So how do we get angle PSQ? PSQ means you are looking for this angle here. So what do we do? Look at it again. The question has told us that this line is a diameter. Now look at it. Let's bring out that shape. And this line here is a diameter. This line PO, this line SOQ, where this is the center. So if this is the diameter, there is an angle this diameter formed at the circumference. This is the angle. So this angle that is formed here, remember what we treated. This is a diameter. Automatically, it is a semicircle. I hope you are following. So if this is a semicircle, it means that the angle at the circumference, this angle formed here, should be what? 90 degrees. According to one of the theorems, that angle on a semicircle. But before you call it a semicircle, you must be sure that the question specifically stated that it is a what? A diameter. If it's not a diameter, because sometimes you can, just like this one, the question did not call it a diameter. So in that case, I will not assume this to be angle on a semicircle. I hope you are following. The only one I'm taking to be angle on a semicircle is this, because they have called this line a diameter. So for this one, I cannot say that this is angle on a semicircle, because the question did not tell us that P and R is a what? A diameter. I hope you are still following. So in that case, since this is the diameter and this angle formed at the circumference is 90, according to the theorem, what does that mean? It means that this angle P here, this angle P here is 90 degrees. But remember also, another theorem is showing there. What is that theorem I'm seeing? Another theorem there is that if I have this as a chord, this is we call this a segment. A segment is the distance between the arc and the chord. So if this is a segment, what do we have there? Angle in the same segment are equal. I hope you have not forgotten that. So what it means is that if this is the segment, angle in the same segments are equal. So if this angle here is 38, you see now we are bringing like two theorems in one question. So if this angle here is 38, it means that angle at Q will also be 38 degrees because they are angles on the same segment. Look at it. Here is 38. Automatically here will also be 38. So this angle at R is 38 from the question. Angle at Q will also be 38. So if here is 38 and here is 38, and we've already known that this angle at P is also 90 from what we have stated, angle in a semicircle. So what do you think we should do to find the value of PSQ, which is PSQ is this angle? I think we've already solved that question, haven't we? We have. So for us to get this angle here, remember this has formed a triangle again. You see triangle coming into action in most of the questions. So this has formed another triangle where this angle here is 38 and this one is 90. So what do we do to find the remaining parts? As usual, we are going to add 90 and 38 degrees together. So let's do it here. 90 plus 38 will give us 128 degrees. 128 is not the answer, but we are going to subtract it from 180. When you subtract 128 from 180, 10 minus 8 will give us 2, 7 minus 2 will give us 5. So our answer will give us 52 degrees. So which of these options is correct? Option D. Let me take that again for the sake of those that did not follow through. Remember the question says that SOQ is a diameter. Look at this. There are two triangles that are formed here. This is the first one and this is the second one. But the question was specific. The question says that SOQ is a diameter. So if it has called it a diameter, it means that something should be occurring in your brain about the theorem. That whenever you have a diameter, you already have a semicircle. So this is not the semicircle. And when you have a semicircle, one theorem says that angle at that point is 90 degrees. So here is already 90. We have gotten one fact that will help us to get what we are looking for. You see how we solve them? Sometimes it may not be one theorem. Some questions may have like 2 or 3 theorems in one. So that is the reason you need to know either 1, 2, or 3 of the theorems to help you answer some of these questions. I hope you are still there with us. Okay.